What's going on, everybody? Well, Stranger Things Season 2 just debuted a few weeks ago. A little bit late getting this video out, but we're going to talk about both seasons because when we talked about the first season, it was in podcast form, and nobody wants to listen to that podcast because the video has not moved since I put it there. So, we're going to redo it. So, Stranger Things Season 1, I rewatched the whole season before Season 2 debuted. You jumped in about, episode 4 or 5.
Yeah, I didn't really
She was
pay
at
too
work,
much attention.
but you saw the whole first season whenever it was the big explosion that it was last year. We saw it before it took off, so I mean, it's really ours, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So Stranger Things Season 1, overall thoughts, I'll let you start.
I loved it. I loved the chemistry that Mike and Eleven had. I liked the mystery behind Eleven and all that. The toothless character, I forget his name.
Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin, yeah.
Steal his hat and you don't know his name.
Sorry, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dustin. And Lucas was the other kid, the one that kind of split off from the group for a little while because he never liked Eleven very much.
The black kid,
Yeah,
Sorry.
or you can say that. And then you have Sheriff Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
You got Joyce is the mother, right?
Yep.
Winona Ryder. And then you got Steve, who's kind of the misunderstood character who I'll get into. You got Barb, who I'd like not to get into, but I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
You have, is it Nancy? Nancy. And then you have this awkward older brother, Will's older brother. I can't think of his damn name. Hopefully I'll think of it before. Is it Justin? No, Dustin, no. Son of a bitch! The photographer guy. I should have known his name. There's a lot of characters, give me a break. Anyway, so all the chemistry between the characters is probably the biggest thing you could say about Stranger Things, why everybody loves it. Especially the kids. Like the little tight-knit group dynamic and everything that they have.
Well, not only that, but the nostalgia behind it all and how different things fit into it. It kind of felt like, we said it before, E.T., kind of like It in a way.
Yeah, it's like Stephen King, a little bit of Carpenter, a little bit of Steven Spielberg. It's got
in there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of those nostalgic elements from the 80s that we all know and love. Even if you didn't grow up in the 80s, these are movies that were a part of your childhood for the most part, or they're still a part of pop culture. So all of that kind of mixed into one package with a really cool sci-fi horror story, a really tight 8 episodes instead of going on for 13 or 14
and boring you.
It did not drag
on. It was packed with awesome detail. I'm not a sci-fi person, and I loved it.
Yeah, the music.
Every minute.
Music is awesome.
Yep.
So the first season to me, I mean, I'll basically get out of the bag. I thought it was flawless. I thought the first season was flawless. But yeah, so we'll start getting into the characters individually. So we'll build our way up to the kids. We'll start with kind of the side characters. Let's talk about Nancy, and I'm gonna go ahead and look up that dude's name while you talk about Nancy, the weird awkward brother.
I liked Nancy. She's a teenage kid. A lot of us teenage girls did that same stuff. Tell your parents you're going somewhere, do something completely different. With her friend Barb, that was really interesting too. And she never gave up on her quest to kind of figure out, what happened. Just her love interest between Steve and this other guy, which hopefully you can find his name soon. That was really interesting. I'm running out of things to say here, so help me out.
We'll talk a little bit more about Barb because she's going to be something that really ties in with Nancy that we're going to be talking about
Barb
as well.
was a buzzkill from the very beginning. She was kind of like that ugly friend, but you've been friends with her for so long you can't stop being friends with her, as fucked up as that sounds. She was just really a buzzkill. Yeah,
okay, so Nancy and her love triangle with Steve and Jonathan Byers.
How did we not know that?
I don't know. I said Justin. I had the J right. I was on the right track. So anyway, Stranger Things have happened.
Oranges here.
But no.
See what you did there.
Yeah, so Nancy is kind of in the first season you don't get to know her character too much, but she's kind of like, she's the older sister that all the kids kind of have a crush on a little bit. Like the first episode, Dustin tries to give her pizza and everything, and she kind of is one of those. She's one of those girls that's stuck between being kind of in that nerdy stage and wanting to be into the popular crowd, and her vessel is through Steve, who's basically the most popular kid in school to the degree.
He's the cute
She
guy.
starts to get his eye a little bit, and you can tell he's kind of the one who's like, come on, give me your virginity, please. And she's like, I don't know, maybe. So, long story short, she goes down that road. She kind of starts abandoning her friend to a degree, Barb, who, like you said, is the buzzkill. Everybody has been that friend at least once.
Where
you're the one at the party. It's not a
bad thing sometimes.
You're the one at the party that did not get to hook up. So you're the one that spends the time down in the living room watching old reruns, eating popcorn while everybody else is upstairs fucking. Yeah. So that's basically what Barb was. And unfortunately, she also, while she was downstairs moping, she ended up getting killed. And so Barb, a decent enough character, and I'll get more into her. But then she had this thing with Steve and Jonathan Byers. Now, Steve is a character that I've always never really had a discussion about, but I've always kind of defended, because Steve is the character in the first season everybody hated.
Yes.
Because he comes in, he's the popular guy, he takes her virginity, but he really likes her.
He does.
He's not trying to dump her, he's not like, thanks for the virginity, now go on back to the loser club.
That's true.
He's really cares for her. He's even kind of wanting to be more with her than his little it crowd. Mm-hmm. And then he gets to the point where it really starts looking like she's going for Jonathan. And she's hanging out with Jonathan, and she's starting to have this affection with Jonathan right after he had some creeper moments where he was like photographing her in the window and shit.
But the only reason she's hanging out with Jonathan in that point is because he's trying, like, his brother's gone missing, Barb's gone missing, so that's why that whole...
Well, I'm just talking about from Steve's perspective right now. So you put yourself in Steve's shoes. So you got this girl.
Motherfucker's trying to steal my girl.
Well, not only that, but he had a big altercation where he threw the dude's camera down and everything. He's basically being the protective one. He's like, don't be a fucking creeper in taking pictures of any girl, but especially my girl while she's in the fucking window changing. Yeah. And anybody would do that. To a degree. Maybe not break the camera, but you would feel protective at that moment. So then he goes through that, and then he feels sorry, and he joins in on his friends with that little prank where they write that she's a whore in the movie thing, which that's the moment that kind of lost him for a lot of people. But immediately after that, he felt bad, and he left his friends, and he helped the guy clean it off. So
that's true.
I always liked his character because to me, he's a realistic character. Everybody's been in his position to where you feel like someone's getting snatched away from you, and you feel defensive, and you feel all this kind of stuff. But I like Steve as a character. Do you agree, or are you're on the side where people kind of hate him?
I wouldn't say I hated him. It was maybe a love-hate relationship where I went from like, okay, who is this guy? And I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of all right. And then after he did that bad shit, like drawing all over the theater, I'm like, well, the kid's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And just going back and forth.
Exactly. So then you have Jonathan Byers, who was kind of the awkward older brother of Will, the one who is missing.
Yes.
And he's the definition of awkward. Like he's very standoffish. He looks like that kid, like, not to make a joke of it, he looks like that kid you'd see nowadays and you'd swear he was going to do a school shooting or something like that, because he's standoffish.
Be nice to that kid, kids.
Yes, he's one of those types.
Yeah.
But when you more you get to know him, you realize that he's just kind of
misunderstood,
and he's the guy that, I kind of was that way to a degree, where I don't need a ton of friends. I don't need to be a part of a crowd. I'm just me. I'm out there.
A lot of it has to do with like their family too. They're not.
Kind of
they don't live
family.
in that cul-de-sac where everybody's friends. We all ride our bikes. They're like the down the street trailer, down the dirt road type of thing.
Yeah, to a degree. So there's that. But I liked his relationship with Nancy because it was like him finally kind of getting accepted to a degree in that part of the crowd that he never was.
And watching it blossom and not knowing if it's going to develop into a love interest or just a really strong friendship, or like them teaming up and doing detective work, which...
And they did really good about in that first season about not pushing it too far one way or the other. They just let it be kind of a friendship that could go either way.
Exactly.
And that's good because you never want to blow your wad on characters right away. And I thought that their kind of relationship between Nancy and Jonathan was handled pretty good. So then you move into the adults. Now we'll start with Joyce. Winona Ryder is kind of like the biggest face in here from the 80s. She was kind of like the girl next door in the 80s. She was in all the movies that a lot of people love. And she's really good in this. She's really good as that mother who is just not only determined, but literally like almost going psycho about, I will find my son. You can tell me he's dead, you can tell me that it's not going to happen, but I will find him. And I like her character for that and how far she goes and how much she gives no fucks about how crazy everybody thinks she is.
Yeah, she's persistent, and like you just said, she doesn't give a fuck. She hung up Christmas lights, all sorts of crazy shit. She's like, he's not dead, I'm telling everyone. She was not giving up on her kid.
Yeah, and it was cool because the main relationship going on, and besides her and Hopper, is that relationship between her and Will is not on screen basically the entire season except for the first episode and part of this last episode. So it's like she has to develop this relationship with somebody who's not there.
Yeah, that's got to be a really hard thing to do.
Yeah, so she
set that groundwork.
Exactly. So she was really good, a really good character to me. And then you move on to Hopper, who's arguably my favorite character.
I love him.
And he's played by David Harbour, who's an actor that I never liked until I saw Stranger Things, because he was always kind of typecast as like the asshole. Like in End of Watch and movies like that, he was always kind of like...
To an extent, he's that same type of person in this show, in a way. Not saying he walks around, he's a fucking tyrant and anything, but...
Well, no, but what I mean is he's that character, like, in a cop movie, he's like the douchebag scumbag sergeant that just wants to pick on everybody. He's
Yeah.
always kind of like that character. But you get into this, and he's the sheriff, and he does have that kind of don't give a fuck, like, oh, this kid's missing, whatever. And you can tell he's kind of checked out to a degree, but the more he starts to kind of see that things are going on, some strange things are happening, and the more he kind of dives into it, the more that his humanity kind of comes out, the more that he dives into his relationship with Joyce and trying to get this kid back and trying to listen to these kids and take on this little government lab, and when nobody else will listen to him, he's kind of like, he's that authoritative figure that is on their side. So I really like David Harbour and what he brought to that character, and I think that's what's going to make his career going on. I mean, he's going to be Hellboy. So I mean, his role in Stranger Things is what's going to get everybody to open their eyes. They're like, ooh, now I know who David Harbour is.
I would probably even say he might have been the most developing character. Like the way he just changed, and you just watched him through all of it. I feel like no one hated him. We all loved him. We loved everything that he did.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't a boring moment when he was on screen.
Exactly. So yeah, he's probably my favorite character in the show. I mean, I love the kids, but as far as like you said, the character growth and seeing all the different layers of him, he's the one that I'm always most interested to see.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot going on with him.
Exactly. And you get some about his past, about his daughter died from you assume is cancer, but basically his daughter is dead. His wife is with somebody else, and they don't show you everything. They just give you enough. They tell you that she's got another life, and you could tell that they have some kind of relationship where he gets drunk and he might call her or something like that. And he kind of longs for what they used to have. So they give you enough into his past to give you a little bit more color to his character without spending like, if this was a 14-episode season, he would have his own episode. Oh, yeah. And it would show his past, his present, and everything like that. But
I'd watch a show on just Hopper.
Well, as far as a show cutting the fat, they give you just enough with him to give you some past. So now we'll move into the kids. Now we'll start with, who do you want to start with? You'll pick.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with Dustin. so Dustin's kind of like the comedic relief in my mind for the kids group. They all have comedy and they all have comedic relief, but he's kind of the one that you look for that goofy charm. Yeah. He's got like this chronoclasial dysplasia or something like that, where his teeth hasn't grown in all the way, his baby teeth, so that kind of gives him another bit of like a baby face charm.
I love
but
he's probably the cutest of all the kids.
Yeah, he's cute, and he's the one that, like I said, he's just hilarious. Like one of my favorite lines of the entire season is he's like, "Mike, I found the chocolate pudding!" And like stuff like that shouldn't be funny on paper, but you see the way this kid delivers it, and it's awesome.
I would say my favorite has to be when they're standing in that court and he's like, "Yeah, she's our friend and she's crazy."
Yeah, that's awesome too. So he's awesome. Lucas is the one who's kind of complicated. He's the only one in this first season where I never really knew if I liked him or not, because he's the one who's more strong-willed, a little bit more strongly opinionated than the rest of them. He has no problem with saying, okay, fuck you guys, I don't agree with you, even though we're part of a group, I'm going to go do my own thing.
Yeah, he has a hard time staying in the group.
Yeah, he feels very threatened by the presence of Eleven. And so part of you, you understand the kid drama with, wait, they're my best friend first kind of thing, that drama.
Or the girl drama too.
Yeah, but on your adult side, you're kind of like, that kid's a whiner. So there's these aspects, but he's also a very complicated character though.
He is.
So I like his character a lot. He's very strong-willed. He's kind of the one who, the fact that he's not the leader is strange, because he's the one, I guess because he's so emotional one way or the other, but he's the one who has the largest voice.
Yeah, he's got those qualities of leadership.
Yeah.
So it's a bit weird to see him not in that position.
Now, we don't have very much to say about him because you don't get to see him very much, but Will seems like kind of the younger one of the group. I think that he's actually like 2 or 3 years younger than the actors that are the rest of the kids.
Probably.
Which, when we get into season 2, is pretty amazing. But as far as this season, you get to see him in the first episode, and you get to see him in like the last 15 minutes of the last episode. So he's a very small character, but the entire plot of the season is surrounded about him in this world, the upside down, and trying to get him back. But the little bit you see of him, he's good.
Exactly.
But that's about all you can say about him. Now, as far as Mike, who's basically the leader, he's kind of the main character in this ensemble cast. He's really good. There's a reason why this kid is already getting roles left and right. He was in the recent It remake, or readaptation for the semantics. I call it remake. But he's the leader. He's the one who kind of calls the shots. He's the one who's Will's best friend. He's the one that won't let anybody give up on him.
Yeah.
Even after the scene, whenever it looks like his body is being pulled out of the water, he's still the one who kind of hangs on to Faith while everybody else is like, he's dead, just leave it alone, stop talking about
Not
it.
only that, but he's like really protective over Eleven. He takes a strange liking to her from the very beginning, almost like a kind of big brother role, which it gets a little bit strange when it develops into a love interest, just a tad bit. But just watching him, it's pretty cool. I liked him.
That's what you say when you run out of thoughts. Anyway,
you're just standing there talking, I'm just like, nice. That's nice.
So Mike's really good. I like his relationship with the adults. I like his relationship with the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Even the way that he's kind of the one who takes the blunt of a lot of the bullying, like as far as kind of standing up, like especially when he gets to the point where he pushes the kid down in the auditorium for making jokes about Will being dead.
Yeah.
All of those little small elements, I like Mike and his character a lot. Now we'll get to probably the biggest character, the most popular character of the show for the most part, 11. So the very first episode ends with her kind of being introduced to this group. You get more of her in that first episode with the guy who was cooking for her and then gets shot by the government agency, but a very mysterious character from the beginning because she's almost seems like she was grown and born in this lab, and she's just been poked and prodded the entire time trying to develop these powers, kind of like the opening of X-Men First Class. And whenever she finally escapes and gets with these kids, she first gets to experience childhood and friendship, and even how a mother is supposed to protect her kid to a degree when she kind of lives vicariously through them. And it's really cool seeing her character grow and develop from somebody who, for all intents and purposes, her mental age whenever she gets out is like a 2-year-old.
Yep,
for everything that she's experienced.
Talk about anything.
Yeah.
She's confused with everything. She's learning these words, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah, so you get to see her grow to basically be almost the same mental age as these kids throughout the season, just in her experience with them. And seeing her powers grow as well is badass, because like you see small little bits of like, you know, telekinesis and stuff like that, and when she can move certain things, and you know, then you start to see shit where like she just kind of does that and breaks people's necks
kills
and
people and does like that, and a truck flips over all crazy.
So she's kind of the badass character where you're like, I want like a whole season.
The secret to that: eat nothing but Eggos.
Yes, exactly. Lego my ego, bitch. I want some telekinesis. So she's an awesome character. Millie Bobby Brown's the actress who plays her, and again, just like Finn Wolfhard, who's the kid who plays Mike, I can see why she's a big name right now. She's the one that you're gonna see pop up in a lot of these Goonies types movies, and hopefully even some other more dramatic stuff. But she's gonna be a name that you're not gonna hear the end of for anything.
And I don't know if this was the first thing that she really played in or not, but maybe
not.
Yeah, she'll blow up.
We'll find out in the comment section, I promise. Motherfucker, she's been in this!
You don't know anything!
But alright, so that's all the characters now. As far as the overall story of this season, the setup, even on the poster, I think, is where's Will Byers, or what happened to Will Byers.
Yep.
And the first episode, Will encounters this being, this monster-looking being, disappears, and the whole season basically is trying to find him. Right away, it's the group of kids, trying to find him. Slowly you start incorporating some adults, like whenever Joyce realizes that he's still out there, there's still signs of it, she gets into it. Eventually you get Hopper into it, and it all kind of comes down to this government lab, who they have Hawkins Lab Lab, that's in the center of this town, where it's one of those classic kind of Stephen King setups, even kind of a little bit of Steven Spielberg, where there's this government agency in the middle of this small town, and you know some weird shit's going on there. And the show just develops from there on, as far as this sci-fi and horror-focused story about this parallel world that's been torn into, and things are starting to spill out of it. The monster they eventually call the Demogorgon, which is like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, that's what the kids call it. It's very much like the movie Alien, where it's just one being, but that one being is so strong and scary that it's enough of a villain for that entire
everything. Even a little bit of it too, how like the clown terrorizes and feeds on their fear. Same thing with the Demogorgon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very animalistic. Like even the scenes like in Joyce's house, whenever like it's kind of like Silent Hill, where all of a sudden like the air stops and all of a sudden the wall starts breaking apart, and you can see him start to come through the walls like he's ripping through the other dimension. A very cool, but scaled down as far as the scope of this kind of sci-fi horror story. It's not going for like the end of the world is coming. It's not going for like an invasion is coming. This whole upside down is going to pour in and take over the earth.
It's perfect for that small town feel that you get in this show, to where, like you just said, Hawkins Lab is the big part of it, and everything gets swept under the rug because they've got pool everywhere. The police are in their pocket, everything, all local businesses, everything. No one goes against them because they're the big force.
Yes, led by Matthew Modine, who's a character that I think it's like Branner or something like that, or Dr. Branner. I'll get corrected in the comment section, of course. But anyway, Matthew Modine's character, he's, again, very subtle. He's a guy from the 80s. I think he played Willard and stuff like that, and you've seen him in many things, but he's a very subtle scientist bad guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of, they call him Papa because he's kind of the father of 11, and you can see that there's a relationship there. You can see that there's a need to a degree that whenever he wants her back, he does want her back for experimentation reasons, but he does want her back. But he does want her back because she's kind of his to a degree. So there's an interesting little father-daughter relationship there, and I think he's subtle enough to where he doesn't lay it on thick as the government agency guy. Yeah. He's just creepy enough. He's just interesting enough, and he's just kind of serious and grounded enough where it works.
Yeah, it's almost that Stockholm syndrome where you take someone and they
something like that.
Yeah, they're yours for a while and they love you type of thing.
So the story of the season really drew me in and you in whenever we watched it. Because like we whenever this aired last year, we watched 2 or 3 episodes until you couldn't keep your eyes open anymore, and then it was like you were like rushing to get through the door, like, all right, turn it on, I'll be ready in a second. Like,
exactly.
So we get in there. So what happened? Yeah. So the story, the way that they told it through the eyes of these kids and through the eyes of the adults, the way that it was a tight 8-episode season, and there was not really any filler whatsoever. Every episode had something to do, something to say.
You were just on the edge of your seat through all of it. There was never a dull moment you didn't like say, oh, why do they have this crap in there? Or, oh, I wish they would have done this better. It was pretty much perfect for me, and you just said for yourself there's no flaws. Yeah,
they cut all the fat off of it, so it was all flavor, none of the fluff or anything like that. So awesome storytelling. A lot of the cool 80s elements kind of spin in there. Even the way with some of this, the way the story unfolds a little bit is a little bit, not quite cliche, because cliche's kind of got a negative connotation to it nowadays, where cliche means you automatically know where everything's going. I didn't necessarily know where everything was going, but there was familiar beats where I'm like, okay, and you kind of ride along with it. Exactly. Now, I really don't have any negatives with this season as a whole. I don't know if you do.
No, I love all of it, to be honest.
I do too. The only thing, which is a weird note to end on, but it's something that's I'm gonna talk about more in the second season. The only thing about kind of the reception of the show and the legacy of this show that annoyed the shit out of me was this whole, what about Barb? Save Barb.
Yeah, but she was a tiny fucking character. Fuck Barb. I gotta be honest with you. Fuck Barb.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what happened, basically on social media, Barb became like this martyr. Like she was the forgotten, thrown away friend, and justice for Barb, and what about Barb? Barb needs to come back next season. Like she was this huge character, and she's literally in this much of the story.
Yeah, fuck you, Barb. You were a buzzkill. That's what you get for being a cockblock.
Okay, but anyway, I lost my thought. Thanks a lot for that. Cockblock for the win. Anyway, I think honestly what happened. Yeah, I think honestly what happened is somebody got on social media as a joke and was like, "Justice for Barb," and made it start going trending, and then social media took off the way it does, where everybody's like, I want to be on that team. Justice for Barb, and now all of a sudden it turned into some big thing, to the degree where they actually tailored part of the story in season 2 to center around Barb.
Yeah,
we'll get into that in season 2.
For me.
We'll get into that in season 2. But anyway, that was the only thing about this whole legacy, this first season, that I was like, why do people keep fucking talking about Barb? She even got her own Funko. What the hell?
Yeah,
I don't have a Funko.
She don't need a Funko.
Yeah, but season 1, flawless season to me. Probably, I mean, I'll have some thoughts about season 2 I'll get into. There's supposed to be, they said they've got it mapped out up to like season 4, season 5 for this. Stranger Things has the potential to be like in my top 3-4 shows of all time. And it's because of this.
I love it.
It's because of this first season.
I'm sorry it might knock Breaking Bad out.
This video is
now
now
story.
Over. I don't know about that yet. We'll get into that. But, you know, as far as season 1, definitely one of, like, my top 2 or 3 opening seasons of all time. Like, it's just flawless. It speaks on everything that I love about the 2 genres of sci-fi and horror. Absolutely. It's got nostalgia about movies I loved when I was a kid, like The Goonies and E.T. and stuff like that. Awesome acting all around. Like, nobody sticks out as a bad actor, even these young kids.
All the props that they used.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Some of these young kids, honestly, are, like, outdoing actors who have been doing this for, like, 20, 30 years. They're so good.
I love it because it's fresh. There's not a lot of people. I mean, other than, like you said, Winona Ryder, and then Hopper played another stuff you said. But other than them, it's all fresh faces for the most part, which makes it cool. They don't have, like, a stigma, like, oh, yeah, that kid, no, he doesn't do in this because in that other movie he was this person.
Yeah, that's one thing about horror that I always kind of harp on. Like, whenever you hear people, like, this is a tangent, but who do you think should play Freddy Krueger? Do you think it should be, you know, Matthew McConaughey, or they think all these great A-list actors, and I'm like, no, I want Freddy Krueger to be somebody I don't know. That way they're a blank slate.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what you have with this. It's a horror sci-fi story, and you get even more invested in it, whether you admit it or not, when it's somebody that you don't recognize. Because if Brad Pitt plays one of the kids, you're like, oh, well, he's definitely going to survive.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with that. But as far as my score, at least, this is like one of the few times you're going to see it on this channel, but this is a 5 out of 5 kind of thing for me. So this is absolutely, it's on Blu-ray now with a badass set. Supposedly there's a 4K coming, which pisses me off because I bought the regular Blu-ray. But anyway,
like you're not going to buy the 4K.
Yeah. But anyway, it's got a badass Blu-ray set right now, so you can go out and buy it.
Yeah.
What is your rating?
2 thumbs up.
That's not my rating.
That's my rating. It's not Cody.
So if you kind of like it, is it like one up, one sideways, or like this? Or
I'm either hot or cold. I either like it or I don't.
She's an A+ or an F kind of girl. Like if you like it, you love it. If you don't really care for it, you hate it. It's despicable. So that's Holly's rating scale. That's my rating scale. What is your guys' rating and your thoughts on Stranger Things Season 1? Stick around for Season 2. It should be dropped somewhere around the same time as this video, but it'll be out eventually. So what are your guys' thoughts on the show altogether? Your favorite character, your least favorite character? Are there some flaws about this first season that we didn't talk about that you think we missed, or do you love this season all around like we do and give it a 5 out of 5 or 2 thumbs up, whatever your rating scale is? Put your thoughts down below in the comment section on Stranger Things Season 1. Like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you want to check out my social media links, you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter down in the video description below, as well as my Patreon page, which is a great way to give back to this channel and get awesome exclusive content for Patron eyes only. And if you want to check out some more of my videos, some of them have her in it, pretty face, you can get those by clicking right over here.